Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Miss.
Right,
Good
okay,
evening.
good evening. Yeah. Today it's not uh, psychology, it is curriculum theory and practice. Am I right?
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Yeah, we need another session for psychology anyway. We will be doing it with the PowerPoint presentations, but today we are doing it's a new module, curriculum theory and practice. Okay. Okay. Let me actually open my PowerPoint first. Curriculum theory and practice. Give me a second. So, how are you all today? Hmm?
Yeah, good
Hmm?
madam. How are you?
Good. So, weekend also, you all having lectures?
Yesterday, no.
Weekend also, you all are having lectures?
No, madam.
No. Okay. Right. So, our module is curriculum theory and practice. So it's the same set of students from educational psychology. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, everyone is here also in this module, right? Okay. And now, why do you think that you all are teachers? So why do you have to actually do a module on curriculum theory and practice? It's all about how we actually develop curriculum, how we interpret curriculum, how we execute curriculum and all that. Why do you think that it is actually an important component for you in your degree? Why do you think like that? Do you really have to know it? Why do you have to know about this curriculum? If not, what is curriculum? If not, anything about this module that mind? No, you don't have to.
Madam, this is a part of the formal education.
Yeah, very good. That's a very good actually response. Informal education, right? Institutionalized learning. You can't do whatever you want, right? You have a curriculum. You as teachers have to execute it. Am I right? That is what
Yes,
she said. Yeah, very good. If it is actually informal education, there's no curriculum as such, right? It is actually just catching, whatever that is that they experience. But here, uh, you can't do anything what you as prefer. Definitely, there is a kind of curriculum. Teachers have to actually implement it, execute the curriculum. So, as teachers, you have to actually execute the curriculum. So, when you have to execute the curriculum in the formal education, you need to interpret the curriculum properly. That is the main advantage. That's the biggest advantage for you, that knowing about what curriculum is and how it is developed and all that, especially novice teachers and all that. So when you do your teaching, you are executing the curriculum. So then you have to actually know the curriculum, you have to interpret the curriculum. So you will get that understanding about curriculum by doing that module. That is the main purpose at the degree level. But you will not be there as teachers forever, no? This is just the beginning of a long journey. So later on that you will join as experienced teachers, as curriculum developers, that you will be developing your own curriculums. You will be revising the existing curriculums. You will be contributing towards it. So these are all incorporated into learning and teaching process. Very specifically that when you have to when you have to execute the curriculum as a teacher, right? You need to interpret it. So you have to know what the curriculum is. And now I'm asking you a question. Okay. Now most of you all are majority are practicing teachers. You all are employed as teachers. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you know your curriculum? Have you studied the curriculum that you execute? Do you know what is there in your curriculum? What are their components and what are the important areas and all that? Are you referring to your curriculum in doing your teaching? I'm asking, just asking. Be honest and tell it's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can you talk about the curriculum that you are actually using and all that?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I'm in Abu Dhabi and doing the British curriculum system, and I'm the foundation teacher. So I'm using the EYFS frame. So it's up to 5 years old. So I need to
Yeah.
follow according to that what we learn in psychology. Now I realize what is the skinny theory and why we are applying. So they guide us what are the concepts we need to teach them and how to guide them. And these are the criteria I have to be in, and these are the sections I need to test their knowledge, they got it or not. So that's how it's giving instruction and the things I need to be successful in.
Very good. So you will actually have to know the curriculum you are executing. Okay. You can't do the teaching the way you want. So that is what you are going to look at today. And I can actually, she's from Abu Dhabi and she's actually executing or working with the British curriculum. So what about others? Can one of you talk? What about others? Can one of you talk? Hello. Hello. කාට කතා කරන්න බැරිද? කටේ පිට්ටුද? Hmm? Hello. Hmm? Nobody wants to talk. Vijayanti? Gayani? Uwanti? Nihala? Iresha? Me, why are you not talking? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you not responding, right? Okay. If it is okay with you, I'm also okay, right? Now, let's look at what we are going to do today. We are going to look at the definition of curriculum. It's a big component in your course descriptor because curriculum is actually very important. So what are in the definition of curriculum that you will look at, you will see the important aspects related to curriculum. So because of that, we are going to discuss definitions of curriculum in a big way today, right? And then once the definitions of curriculum is done, the second part would be curriculum design approaches. Curriculum design approaches. Okay. definition of curriculum, and curriculum design approaches. These are the two main subtopics that we are discussing today, right, in the curriculum theory and practice module. Right. Now look at this, the kind of the flow chart or whatever. Right here, the curriculum, syllabus, and the course plan. Curriculum is the broadest, right? Curriculum is the broadest. Curriculum is the broadest, and syllabus is part of the curriculum. Syllabus is part of the curriculum, okay? And course plans are actually part of the syllabus. So that is actually the flow chart. Curriculum is seen as very broad, and then syllabus is part of the curriculum, and the curriculum has several syllabuses or syllabi, and then syllabuses, referring to the syllabuses, teachers actually develop course plans. Course plans. They are designed by the teachers, okay? And I will give an example. If you are a teacher of grade 6, grade 6 has a curriculum, and it can be the British curriculum, it can be the Cambridge curriculum, it can be the edexcel, it can be the national curriculum, right? And in that curriculum, there are several syllabuses or syllabi. Maths syllabus, English language syllabus, Sinhala language, religion, music, dance. There are syllabuses for each and every subject. And this collection of these syllabuses are the curriculum. So curriculum is broader than the syllabus. And then suppose you are an English teacher. So you have the English syllabus, which is actually a part of the grade 6 curriculum. And looking at your English syllabus, you will write course plans, lesson plans, term notes, year plans, and all that. They're done by the teachers. But you can't deviate from the syllabus, English language syllabus. And English language syllabus is actually aligned with the whole curriculum, other subjects as well. So that small idea that I would really like you to look at. And later on, I will be discussing the difference between curriculum and syllabus, okay? But not right now. Before that, we need to look at definitions. Because of that, later on, I'll be discussing what is curriculum, what is syllabus, how they differ from each other, Kianika, right? I will be discussing. But you have to know curriculum is very broad. It has all the subjects taught and all that, okay? Now look at some general understanding about or narrow definitions of curriculum, okay? Narrow definitions of curriculum. The first box, the word curriculum began as a Latin word, which means a race or the course of a race, which in turn derives from the verb, that is the Latin word, I do not know how to pronounce it, to run, to proceed. Now, this curriculum is drawn from a Latin word. You can see the Latin word here in the first box. And you know, what does it mean? So it means that curricula is the race. Curricul is the race. And is the course. The race is run on the course, track. The race is run on the course or the track. Now, what is this race? Race is the intended learning outcomes of education. Educational goals to be realized. Okay? Educational goals to be realized. That is the destination. That is the race that you have to run. You run this race of realizing educational goals on the track or the race course of curriculum. You have to use the curriculum to achieve the educational goals. Is it clear? Or any questions?
Madam, could you please explain it again?
Yeah, I will. Now, the general term curriculum, it is drawn from a Latin word, and the Latin word currere, right? What does this word, what does it mean, right? It means this: the course of a race, the course of a race. Now, you know race course, course is the track where you run the race. Race course, right? You have to run the race on the track or the course, right? And then if you take the race is to achieve the educational goals, right? There's a race that you run, that race that is achieving educational goals. So if it is a race that you run on the track, no, race course, course or track. So the destination or the end is to achieve the goal. The race is run to achieve the educational goals. Where do you run the race? It's on the course or the track. The course or the track is the curriculum. The course or the track is the curriculum. So you use the curriculum to achieve the educational goals. You use the track or the course to run the race, right? You run the race on the track. You use the track to run the race. The race is the educational goals. You run the race of educational goals on the track of curriculum. So curriculum is very important then. Educational goals are achieved grounded on curriculums. Is it clear now? Still no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So you can see how important this curriculum is, because based on the curriculum only that the educational goals are achieved. Okay? Curriculum helps you in achievement of educational goals otherwise, because the race is run on the track or the course. The race is the educational goals. The educational goals are achieved based on the curriculum, like the race is run on the course or the track. Okay, like that. So coming to the second narrow curriculum, main definitions of curriculum. The curriculum is the sum total of all the activities and experiences provided by the school to the learners for achieving the desired objective. It's difficult for me when you're not actually, if your background noise is not good, please mute your mic. Right. The second box. So curriculum in general terms means the sum total of all the activities and experiences provided by the school to the learners for the achievement of desired objectives. The desired objectives are the educational goals, right? So the schools, that is actually the institutionalized formal education, as one of you said, right? Curriculums are used by in formal education. So schools represent formal education. So the schools, they actually have activities and experiences provided to the learners. The sum total of all the activities and experiences provided to the learners by the school for the achievement of desired objectives, that is the curriculum. So curriculum is not only the teaching part, right? If you have extracurricular activities in the school, um, if you have associations, if you have prefect guild and all that, they are all actually the sum total of activities and experiences given to the learner by the school that is for the purpose of achieving desired objectives, right? And in another general term, curriculum is the course of study. Curriculum is the course of study. Now, if you are into British curriculum, you know, it has several subjects and they all have the courses, right? So now, if you take your campus, your degree, maybe you're following BED/PGDE, right? This curriculum theory and practice is one course, right? And you have a syllabus. But the curriculum, you have educational psychology, you have teaching methodology like that. The whole set is the curriculum, okay? Another term, a plan for teaching and instruction. It can be viewed as a blueprint for instruction. You know what a blueprint is. So blueprint is you put everything into kind of document and say, this is what you have to teach. So plan for teaching and instruction. That is curriculum. This is actually very general, narrow definitions of curriculum. But we can look at some broad definitions of curriculums as well. Now, in narrow definitions of curriculum, we learned curriculum is the track to run the race of achieving educational goals. In another narrow definition, we looked at the schools, the sum total of the activities and experiences provided by the schools to the learners to achieving the desired objectives. It's the course of study. It is the plan for teaching and instruction, right? Now, we will look at some other areas. These are broad definitions of curriculum. When you have broad definitions, you are quoting educationists. You're quoting educationists, scholars, right? So they are broad definitions of curriculum. So according to Taylor and Richards, curriculum is the heart of the educational enterprise, the vehicle. Curriculum is at the heart of the educational enterprise, the vehicle. So there are two key words in this Taylor and Richards definition of curriculum. What are the two words I have highlighted in this definition?
And vehicle.
Heart and vehicle, right? Heart and vehicle. So what is heart? What is vehicle? Now, if you take the word heart, now if you take a human being, right? Heart stops, what happens?
Passed away.
Sorry?
We passed
Die.
away. Yeah.
Yes, we die, actually
Yeah.
speaking. No, the heart stops, we die. It's the death. So likewise, curriculum is the heart. So you can see the importance. If the curriculum is not there, there's no education. As you don't have a heart, you don't have life, right? If curriculum is not properly set, if the curriculum is not proper, that is the end of the venture of education. So that curriculum is that important according to this Taylor and Richards definition. It's the heart of educational enterprise. The අපේ මුළු ඇඟේම තියෙන functions වල heart එක නැති වුණොත් everything ends, right? Similarly, if there's no proper curriculum, right, that is the end of educational enterprise, right? If there's a proper curriculum, that is a very good educational enterprise. So curriculum matters a lot. So curriculum is referred to as heart of the educational enterprise by Taylor and Richards. Heart of educational enterprise. Then there's another term, vehicle. We discuss it actually speaking in definition of curriculum, the word. The vehicle to reach the destination of educational goals, right? Curriculum is the vehicle to actually reach the destination of educational goals. So each and every country has their own educational goals. We will be discussing what are our educational goals. So Sri Lanka also has educational goals, right? Sri Lanka has 8 educational goals. So for the realization of educational goals, the vehicle is the curriculum. The vehicle is the curriculum. So according to Taylor and Richards' definition of curriculum, the curriculum is at the heart of the educational enterprise. It's a vehicle. The vehicle to actually reach the destination of educational goals, right? So educational goals can be achieved if the curriculum is properly executed. And curriculums are developed to achieve the educational goals of a country. Is it clear to you? Madam?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, okay. So ඔගලන්ට හුඟක් වෙලාවට විභාගයට එන්න පුළුවන්. Develop your own definition of curriculum and discuss the keywords with examples for 25 marks or 20 marks. So this is one important area because this covers, no, you will get a thorough understanding about the importance of curriculum, okay, by looking at the definitions. So here we look at it's the heart of educational enterprise. It's the vehicle to reach the destination of educational goals. So educational goals actually can be realized through the implementation of the curriculum. Curriculums are developed to actually realize the educational goals. That is why it becomes the vehicle. Okay? Right. Then come to the second box. These are broad definitions. So you're quoting educationists, scholars. The second one, a curriculum is a plan for learning. Taba, 1962. A curriculum is a plan for learning. Now I have highlighted 2 keywords. What are the 2 keywords highlighted? What are the 2 keywords highlighted?
Plan and learning.
And learning. Okay, very good. Plan and learning. Right. So what do you think? What is meant by plan? What is meant by learning? We will first look at learning, right? As one of you said, right? Curriculum is not there if it is just acquisition, if not socialization, right? It is not just actually you actually play and learn things. You speak to others and learn things. You're socialized. Acculturation. You learn from others, but there's no curriculum. That is acquisition, right? It happens naturally. But in the formal education setups, right? It is not acquisition, but learning. Why? Because it is actually based on a curriculum, right? You have a set of intended learning outcomes. By doing learning and teaching in the classroom, you're supposed to actually learn. You're expected to do things at the end of the day, at the end of the curriculum, completing the program and all that. So it is not just kind of just picking language or other knowledge. It is actually just going beyond socialization and acculturation. Purposeful learning is there. Okay, purposeful learning is there. So what is plan? Now, if you take what does it mean by a plan? What are the characteristics of a plan? Can you tell me? What are the characteristics of a plan? Now, if you want to put up a house, what do you get done first?
Foundation.
Yeah, before the foundation.
Sketch the design.
You get a kind of a plan done by an architect, the expert in the an expert in the field. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is actually then when you actually start building your house, you know how many rooms, how many square feet, how many windows and doors, and what is the design, what will it look like. You are shown the 3D kind of model as well of the house. So why? Because there's a plan. Because there's a plan. So you know the outcome. You know the outcome. Once the house is built, this is what it will look like with 3 bedrooms and 2 stories and all that you know. Why? Because you have a plan. You have a plan. Similarly, in education also, the curriculum is the plan for learning. Then you know it has clearly stated outcomes. අර plan එකේ කියනවා මේ විදිහට තමයි මේකේ පේන්නේ. Similarly, this curriculum actually is the plan for learning, and you can see clearly stated outcomes. ILO's intended learning outcomes are there. And not only that, and if you have a house plan, you know um, uh, what will be the cost, how to put it up, and all the information is jot down to it. How many rooms, right? Like that. And similarly, this curriculum also will tell you a lot about how this teaching should be done, right? For the learners to learn what they are supposed to learn. So once they actually complete the learning, that is the curriculum is implemented, you know what they will be able to do at the end of the day, right? And you know how to assess them. You know how to teach them. Everything is jotted down into the curriculum because it's a plan. So that is one thing. There is an intended learning outcome. So curriculum says this is the outcome. As the plan of the house says, this is what it will look like, right? So it is planned for learning. And then you know at the end of once they complete their learning, this is what they will be able to do because the clearly stated outcomes are there in the curriculum. So the curriculum can be referred to as the plan for learning by Taba 1962. So it tells, right, how to build the house, what materials to use, the house plan, right? What materials to use, what will be the cost. Likewise, the curriculum tells you this is the outcome, intended learning outcomes. This is what the students will be able to do once they complete learning of this curriculum. And this is how that you should teach them. This is how you should assess them. This is what you should teach them, right? Everything is specifically stated as it's a plan for learning. This is TABA. Is it clear or it's not clear?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll go to the next. The next is can one of you read the third box from Tanner and Tanner, the definition by them? Yeah.
Curriculum is the planned and guided learning experiences and intended outcomes formulated through the systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences under the
Auspices.
auspices of the school for the learner's continuous and willful growth in personal and social
Competence. Right. According to this Tanner and Tanner's definition of curriculum, that there are several key words that we can interpret. Okay? So intended outcomes, planned and guided learning experiences, systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experience, the school, the learner's continuous willful growth in personal and social competence. So curriculum is all about all these things. So it's very important, isn't it? So we'll take one by one. Planned and guided learning experiences. That is, of course, we have discussed already by looking at TABAs, right? Plan for learning. So curriculum has a plan. So because of that, it has intended learning outcomes as well. So planned and guided learning experiences and intended outcomes, it's discussed already. Because if it's a plan, so you know it has the outcome. This is what the house will look like, and how many rooms, how many windows, how many doors, and what kind of material to be used and all that. Same here with the curriculum, right? For the teaching and learning, it's guided learning experience and intended learning outcomes. So that, of course, it's there in the TABAs. Then here, formulated through the systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences. Formulated through the systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences. Now here, formulated through the systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences. That, of course, you have to now tell me what it means as you understand. Then after that, I will explain it to you. What can it be? Formulated through the systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences. What can it be? Any educated guess? No?
It have to be step by step construct according to the knowledge. If we want to teach something, we need to go with the step by step systematically. Construct the knowledge, how it's like we are delivering to the children.
You're correct, actually speaking. No? To a very good extent, you're correct. That is one important idea, that what is to be taught in grade 6, what is to be taught in grade 7, what is to be taught in grade 9, right? And for example, we all know English, right? If it is tenses, just 1 minute part, okay? And you can't teach all the 12 tenses in grade 6. So you select what tenses are to be taught in grade 6. So if you look at grade 6 English book, simple present, present continuous, and simple past only. They are all only active voice, right? They are all only active voice, right? And then when you go to grade 7, these tenses are actually revised, revisited. Again, you can see in grade 7 also simple present, simple past, present continuous, but some other tenses also introduced. By the time they go to grade 8, simple present passive, simple past passive. Now, not only active passive structure is also introduced. Likewise, it is systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences. What areas to be revisited, recycled, නැවත කරන්න ඕනේ මොනවද? So where to start and what is next? How much of that knowledge is afterwards? Sorry.
Yeah, it's a gradual development.
Yes. So curriculum is not just haphazard. It is developed like that. And one more thing to be added here. Now, knowledge is very vast. We live in a knowledge society and knowledge explodes. There's knowledge explosion. You can't fathom the knowledge. It's that vast. So we can't be teaching everything. We can't be teaching everything. So you have to understand curriculum has to carefully select what are the most important knowledge to be given. What are the most important knowledge to be given? right? Even if you take now, you're a maths teacher, you can't teach all the mathematics in grade 6. So what are the most important mathematical concepts to be taught? And which concept first and which concept afterwards, like that? That is systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences under the auspices of the school. The school curriculums are always in formal education. School doesn't mean it's only the school. Higher education institutes, campuses, universities, they all are formal, they all provide formal education. So the curriculum is actually connected with formal education. Now, you know, informal education, you receive without a curriculum, right? You don't have any curriculum. You just play, you just talk, you just spend time with others, you just do some, uh, you socialize and you learn. And there are no curriculums. So curriculum is something related to the school. School means actually formal education there. That is another important component of the definition of curriculum, right? Because curriculum is executed by executed in formal education. It's a part of formal education, right? And then we'll go to the next part, the learner's continuous and willful growth in personal and social competence. The learner's continuous and willful growth in personal and social competence. So that is actually another important. Uh, what are the functions of education? Functions of education. So education should develop the individual. The education should develop the society, right? So education has several functions: social function, personal function. So this curriculum actually is targeting the development of the learner's social and personal competencies. Then he actually can, as a result of the curriculum that he or she follows, right? She or he can uh, personal uh, function very well as an individual, uh, as well as a social being. So you're preparing them for the personal and social life of the individual. So working with others, right? Being happy in the company of others, good personalities developed, happy individual is created. So they are the functions, social and personal functions of education. And the curriculum is not only to give knowledge about the subject matter. Curriculum is not only to give the knowledge about the subject matter, maths and science and all that. The curriculum actually prescribe experiences to be given to the learner for their development or the growth of personal and social competence. So they are happy individuals, they are social beings. You are preparing them for that, not to just give knowledge and then to get them to pass exams. No, that is not the purpose of curriculum. According to Tanner and Tanner, it is actually preparing the learner for the personal and social uh, functions. So you develop those competencies in them through the execution of the curriculum by giving them the activities and experiences in the school. Did you understand? Yeah, it's not only the subject matter, right? Their personal and social growth, that competencies should be developed. Emotional intelligence, right? Soft skills, communication skills, creativity, personality development, they are also actually very important. So the curriculum actually uh, caters to these as well, not only the subject matter. Okay? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
then we'll go to the last one. That is by Bobbitt. Can one of you read this Bobbitt's definition?
That series of things which children and youth must do and experience by way of developing abilities to do things well that make up affairs of adult life and to be in all aspects what adults should be.
Right, okay. Good. So that series of things which children and youth must do and experience by way of developing abilities to do things well that make up affairs of adult life and to be in all aspects what adults should be. So here Bobbitt actually discusses something that we could not actually see in all the other definitions that we read. That is actually preparing the learner for their adult life. Adult life කියලා කිව්වහම කොහොමද? Developing abilities to do things well that make up affairs of adult life. Preparing the learner for the adult life. That is actually once they grow up. They have to actually work. They have to uh, survive in their workplaces. They have to be confident in the workplaces. They have to actually contribute to the social development of the country. They have to play a role as a kind of a community, right, leader. So they have to actually be raise a family and look after children. And all these are actually preparing the learner for the adult life they are to be, they are supposed to play, right? So education is not just giving subject matter. Education should actually prepare the learner for the adult life. So, in other words, Bobbitt says, school is a miniature society. School is a miniature society. What is the kind of experiences that they have to face in as adults in society? They are brought to the schools. They are brought to the schools in its miniature form. Now, projects, problem solving activities, projects, events, functions. So schools have all these things, right? Sramadanas and all that. Then sports meet, right? And then problem solving activities, because you're preparing them for the challenges of the adult life. That is also a part of curriculum. Curriculum prescribes activities and experiences to be given to the learner to develop their abilities to do well, function well as an adult. Okay, that is another important component about curriculum. So with that, we will actually finish our discussion on curriculum. So in the examination that I might ask you, right? Write your own definition of curriculum and explain the key words in it. If not, I might give you a kind of a definition and we'll ask you to actually identify key ideas, key 5 ideas in this definition and explain it with examples. Will you be able to do that? I ask you a question. Hello?
Okay, madam.
Others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am,
කම්මැලි
we
වගේ.
can do.
මොකෝ කම්මැලි වගේ. ආ? කම්මැලිද?
No,
No,
ma'am.
madam.
Right, okay. Now, so we finished that part of our discussion, that is definitions of curriculum. So can I ask you, what are the keywords? I will not get you to explain what are the keywords. Key ideas.
Heart, vehicle,
Heart,
vehicle,
vehicle, very good.
plan,
Plan, very good.
learning,
Learning plan for learning experiences. It's one word, no? Plan for learning experiences. Then
Guided.
intended learning outcomes. Sum total of all the experiences and activities. Am I right?
yes,
School, because curriculums are in formal education. The school. Then what else?
Systematic reconstructions of
Very
knowledge
good.
and experiences.
Yeah, systematic reconstruction of knowledge and very important part. And then what else? Preparing them for adult life. And then what else?
It's a continuous
Developing competencies related to social and personal development. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So incorporate all that and explain what curriculum is. That is it. Then we will have a look at these components of curriculum, right? Components of curriculum. Now, according to literature, curriculum has four main components. Curriculum has four main components. What are the four main components of a curriculum? You have objectives, content or the subject matter, learning experience, and evaluation. Those are the four main components of a curriculum. Objectives means learning outcomes, intended learning outcomes. At the end of this course, at the end of this curriculum, right? Once this curriculum is, the program is completed, students will be able to do what the students will be able to do. ILOs, intended learning outcomes. That is a big component of curriculum, right? Any curriculum has its own ILOs, intended learning outcomes. At the end of the day, what the students will be able to do. That is what intended learning outcomes are. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We will be analyzing a curriculum, but for the time being, you have to know that there are four main components of curriculum. The first one is objectives or ILOs, intended learning outcomes. That means once this is completed, what the students will be able to do, right? Objectives. Then the second component is content or the subject matter. Now, for example, in this curriculum theory and practice, definition of curriculum is the content. Now, components of curriculum is the content, the subject matter. Then approaches to curriculum design is another component. If it is English language, right? Reading, writing letters, writing emails, right? And then vocabulary, synonyms and antonyms, they are all the subject matter. So the curriculum prescribes the subject matter, what is to be taught to them. So that is another important component. The third component is learning experience, if not methodology. Learning experience or methodology. How to teach them, right? Discussions, presentations, lectures, then uh, 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 role plays, group activities, they are all learning experiences. That is the methodology. Now, if you take your syllabus also, now here I'm doing curriculum theory and practice. So content, I gave you example. What is the learning experience? Basically, as it's adult education, lectures. and maybe PowerPoint presentations. For educational psychology, we do a PowerPoint presentation, and then group work, and then assignments like that. Assignments can't be here, right? Then the fourth component is evaluation. Evaluation is how to assess whether the students have learned or not. So evaluation can be formative evaluation or summative evaluation. Formative, ongoing, to take remedial measures. Summative, at the end of the program, to give you a grade, right? To give you a grading, right? So how to evaluate you? Now, for example, you're this one. For the final written exam, 60% is the weightage. There's no mid course here. But for the two assignments, 40% is allocated. One assignment is PowerPoint, one assignment is written, like that. How to evaluate the achievement, the students and the learning, that is also a part of the curriculum. So the curriculum has 4 parts as objectives or ILOs. At the end of the program, what the students will be able to do, content or subject matter, what is to be taught, learning experiences is the methodology, and evaluation, how to evaluate their learning. Formative assessments, summative assessments, written exam, weightage, and all that. But the most important thing is, though we talk about 4 components of the curriculum, remember that they are connected with each other. They are connected with each other. Based, the objectives are there, and to realize the objectives, the subject matter is chosen accordingly. And to realize the objectives, learning experience and subject matter and evaluation, they are all not in islands or isolated. They are interconnected. So objectives, content, and or the subject matter, methodology, or the learning experience and evaluation, they are not isolated. They are connected with each other, right? They are connected each other. The evaluation is helpful in realization of the objectives. Content is helpful in realization of the objectives, like that. The content and the learning experiences are matching, like that. It's actually interrelated. This is actually a very brief discussion about components of a curriculum. Is it okay?
It's
Is it
fine, ma'am.
okay? Yeah. So now any questions? Any questions? You need to talk. I can see how many students. I have 37, but only 1 or 2 respond. Others, what's your issue? Hmm? What's the issue? When you keep quiet, I feel like that you don't understand. Hello.
Madam,
Hello.
Madam,
Yeah. Yeah.
can you mention again the learning experience and ways of getting methodology?
Yeah. Learning experience is the methodology to be used. Okay. How to
Yes,
teach
madam.
them. How to teach them. Now, if it is the school curriculum, they don't talk about lecture method much. Group work, pair work, projects, role plays, simulation, then discovery learning. Like that, the curriculum specifies them how to teach them. That is the teaching methodology. Have you ever gone through what is your subject, dear? What is your subject, dear?
English, madam.
English. So what are the grades you are doing?
Uh, 4, 5, and 8.
So have you gone through the curriculum, the syllabus? It prescribes. Am I right? This is how you
Yes, ma'am.
should teach them, Kela. That is the methodology. Now, if you take actually your own degree program, right? I have to interpret your curriculum, the syllabus of um, uh, curriculum theory and practice. Then I know, I have to do lectures basically. And then, but not only lectures, I have to give you a kind of group work. I have to give you role plays. I have to give you discovery learning and all that, but it hardly happens because you all prefer lectures as it's online, okay? And to save time and give maximum of the subject matter, we have made it only lectures. But there are other ways of teaching, right? Um, uh, uh, Flip method, hybrid methods, and all that methods are prescribed in the kind of curriculum. So that is the learning experience of the methodology. Is it okay?
Okay, madam.
Yeah, good. Asking questions means that you are listening and you are actually learning something from this lecture. There are 30, how many? 39, but only very few, maybe one or two, three, four people talk. Others just keep quiet. I'm not quite sure whether you are there, just though connected, okay? But anyway, look at this now. Our next topic, curriculum designing approaches. That is the next topic, curriculum designing approaches. Curriculum designing approaches. So we discuss the definitions of curriculum, narrow definitions and broad definitions. And we looked at keywords, ideas. And then we look at the 4 components of the curriculum. It's a very simple discussion because we have to take one by one and discuss it, okay? We have to take one by one and discuss it by analyzing a curriculum. And then that is discussed because now our second topic is curriculum design approaches. When you want to design a curriculum, so you're not, as teachers right now, you're not going to design curriculums, but you're going to interpret the curriculum that you get. So for that, how it is designed, what are the principles and all that will help you to actually interpret the curriculum in the best way. And later on, you will not remain as teachers forever. Then this knowledge will be very useful because you will contribute to development of curriculum and all that. Now, for example, now if you're a kind of maths teacher, now your school says there are very weak students in maths, right? So you're doing grade 6, 7, and 8. So from grade 6, 7, 8, those who score below 40 for mathematics, you're going to give them a kind of extra teaching hours. And principal might ask you, for them, can you design a syllabus for 3 months like that? So you will be able to do it, okay, as a teacher. So then this understanding will help you actually get started in designing the curriculum. Right. Now you look at curriculum designing approaches. So the literature identifies 3 main approaches to curriculum designing. How many approaches?
Three.
3 main approaches. Yeah, 3 main approaches. What are those 3 main approaches to curriculum designing? Forward design, central design, and backward design. I repeat, forward design, central design, and backward design. Okay, right. So we will see. We will take one by one and see. The first one is forward design, right? Forward design is, we don't take, now you know curriculum has 4 components. What are the 4 components? ILOs, or the outcome, anything, a content or the subject matter, the process or the learning experience or the methodology. Okay, evaluation is not considered here in the discussion. Okay, so if you take the forward design to curriculum, right, for curriculum design, the forward design, it's a linear process. It's a linear one. First, they decide on the content to be taught. In the forward design, they decide what is the content to be taught. And once the content to be taught, that is the subject matter to be taught, is decided, the process or the methodology or the learning experience is decided. This is how we are going to teach it. Okay, the process. Once the methodology or the process is decided, the learning outcomes are formulated based on the content and the teaching methodology used. That is the forward design. First, what the content or the subject matter to be taught. Now, once the subject matter or the content is decided, that's why it's linear. And then what is the methodology to be used? What methodology is to be used? So the process is decided. And then based on that, the outcome is decided, what the students be able to do at the end of the day, ILO is decided. That is the forward design, and it is very traditional way. So in the past, that is how the curriculums were developed. Okay, first the content, then the methodology, and then the intended learning outcomes. This is a traditional approach. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Then there's another approach of curriculum design. That is actually central design. The central design is not linear, right? It's not a linear approach actually. They will first decide the process, that is the methodology. If not, the learning experiences to be given. And based on the learning experience to be given, concurrently, at the same time, they think of the content and the outcome or the ILOs. Based on the process or the teaching methodology, the other two components of curriculum, that is the content and the outcome, are decided. That is termed as central design to curriculum designing. Why this central design approach is used? I'll give you an example, right? Now, for example, your principal tells you now, you have to actually prepare the students for the public speaking competition, right? So public speaking is actually the module. There is a 3-month module called public speaking. Then what kind of a approach is more suitable? You can use the central design very easily. Why? You can think of the process first. That is, you will actually get the learner to do public speaking activities in the class. There's no any other way that you can get them to develop their public speaking. So you decide on the process or the methodology first. So you're going to get them to do public speaking in the class. So that is the first thing you decide. And then accordingly that you decide the content and the outcome concurrently at the same time. Maybe that you think the public speaking, no, I will first get them to do prepared speech. Then I will get them to do impromptu speeches. Then I will get them to do humorous speeches. Then I will get them to do a debate. And then I will get them to do a panel discussion. That is the content, right? But you focused on the process because it's the public speaking module that they will be able to speak, right, in public. That ability should be developed. So it's better to go central design approach. An outcome may be based on that the students will be able to, right, speak with confidence. Students will be able to speak with correct pronunciation. Like that, you can go on adding the outcomes as well. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
depending on the situation. You decide whether you're using the forward design approach or central design approach, or now we are going to discuss backward design approach, right? For curriculum designing. So if you take the backward design, first you decide on the ILOs or the outcomes. At the end of this, the students will be able to do this, do this, do that, Kela. First you decide the outcomes. Now, for the realization of these outcomes, intended learning outcomes, what they will be able to do that, you will decide what methodologies and content to be chosen. Actually, backward design is the latest now. First think of the outcome and then think of the process and the content accordingly for the realization of the intended learning outcomes. Okay. But it doesn't mean that the traditional one, first the content, then the process, and then the outcome, or the central design, first the teaching methodology or the process, and then the content and outcome, they are not obsolete, right? Situations actually make you to think which approach is the best approach for the curriculum design. Is it clear to you or it's not clear to you? I want you to respond.
Clear, madam.
Clear.
Clear, madam.
So, yeah. Now, what do you think of the national curriculum or the Cambridge or the edXL curriculum that you teach? Which approach is used as you understand?
Actually, ma'am, we use the backward designing. Generally, we come describe with the outcomes. This is the we want to have end of the lesson. We are telling them you need to catch the star. So then we are starting with the process, how to do it and what are the things to do it.
You're correct. Most outcome based education, Kela, outcome based education. We start with when designing even national curriculums, right? We have educational goals as a nation, as a country. We have educational goals. So based on the educational goals, the intended learning outcomes are first decided. At the end of the day, the students will be able to do this, do that, like that. And for the realization of these intended outcomes, what are the kind of content, what are the methodologies suitable to be used is decided. First decided on the ILOs, that is actually very latest and modern. That is why I told you the forward approach is very traditionally, but sometimes that we need to actually think of these forward designs as well. Now, as I told you, you are the English, you are the maths teacher. You have in grade 6, 7, junior secondary, very weak students in mathematics. Your principal tells you, develop a curriculum for them to do extra classes. So you have to first think of the content to be taught, because they have to actually learn these things to actually go and join the rest of the average students. So you have to first decide on the content, definitely, So sometimes still that we go forward design approach we use. Okay, Neda?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, with that, I think that I completed what I'm supposed to do for the day, but we have some more time, actually about 40 minutes. So we will look at another subtopic. Let me open. Right. I will take up very simple topic like syllabus versus curriculum. Okay. Can I actually, before I stop, 5 minutes to 9:30, please tell me that I need to actually put the lecture materials to the chat. Okay. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, may I ask one question regarding what
Yes,
we learned?
please. Yes.
Madam, when we are writing the answers, when you ask write your own definition, right,
Yeah.
regarding the curriculum theory,
Yeah.
Like, so then we need to go with all the definitions, what you Taba thing and Tana and the other two things. We need to write all the stuff, or we need to specify only 2, 3 things. How to?
Yeah, actually, it all depends on the time and the mark allocation, right? Now, if you have 3 hours, 25 marks allocated, right, for one question. You have to answer only 4 questions in 3 hours. One question gets 25 marks. So you don't have enough time. Am I right?
Ma'am.
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So accordingly, that 25 marks means 1/4 of your marks is given to this question. So out of the 3 hours that you can spend 45 minutes on this. Am I right? So
Yes.
my expectation is high. That is why always we give you the breakdown of marks. It all depends on that. Sometimes if it is only for 10 marks, you don't have to actually go for all these. Am I right?
Yes,
But you have to
ma'am.
prioritize. You have to prioritize. Um, Most important ones should not be missed, right? That is also there. So
So
it all,
according to,
that is why, yeah,
yeah,
yes.
according to this, at least we need to go with the three people, like at least to get the mark the in
No,
proper
it
way.
all, no, as I told you, it all depends on the mark allocation. If it is
Okay.
just for 5 marks, right? So 5 marks, and then out of 100, you can't spend more than 10 minutes for that question or 5 minutes for that question, right? So you can't be writing a lot on this question to get 5 marks. Am I right? That is a mistake done by every one of you. If you know, if you have studied it hard and if you know everything, it's only 5 marks. And you go on writing pages and pages, but the maximum that I give is 5. And when it is not to the point, also that I cut marks also, because the question for 5 marks is to the point question. You
Oh,
understand that is
yes.
always that when you're doing an exam, you have to know what is the mark allocation. And that mark allocation, this makes you to think how much that you have to write. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, got it,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, that is how it should be. That is a big mistake by our students, actually speaking, in adult education. We hardly get you to write answers and mark them before exams and all that. So you also actually lack that understanding. If you are very thorough with that area, it's only 10 marks. You have written 5 pages. But there's another question for 20 marks, but you have written only half a page. So you can understand. No? So always study the paper. How much time I can spend on that based on the mark
Okay,
allocation. That is why always the breakdown of the marks are given. Okay.
okay,
A
ma'am.
good
Thank you
question,
very
actually speaking, all the others will benefit out of a question, okay, I feel.
much. Thank you,
Now,
ma'am.
can you see the document I have shared?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is actually a definition. This is actually kind of differentiating between curriculum and syllabus. Okay, what's the difference we are looking at? But I want to tell you something, right? We hardly use the term curriculum in Sri Lanka. For the curriculum also, we use syllabus. Now, from your campus, if you ask the syllabus, it has to be one subject, okay? But you mean the curriculum, all the subjects, all the modules, all the courses that you have in the first semester, like that. Because this curriculum and syllabus, these two terms are used interchangeably. These two terms are used interchangeably. They are not serious crimes when it comes to the layman's everyday communication. Now, for example, අපි කියන්නේ my BEd TESOL syllabus කියලානේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ, not the curriculum, right? I use the word curriculum because I know the subject matter. Maybe that you're asking for the can I get the syllabus? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that is it. Because they are interchangeably used. So you don't have to worry much about the kind of misuse of these two words as well. But when it comes to this module, it is one of the component that we have to know the difference between curriculum and syllabus. So this is not a big discussion. So I can set only a 5-mark question in a structured essay, right? 5-mark question on in a structured essay. Part 1 එක maybe when right? Distinguish between the two terms curriculum and syllabus. So if you look at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 entries to distinguish between the curriculum and the syllabus. Now look at the first one, the meaning. Can one of you read the meaning of curriculum and the meaning of syllabus for the rest of the class?
A set of guidelines of the different academic contents and chapters that are covered during a program offered by a particular education institution. Syllabus, a document that has all the information about different topics or concepts that need to be covered for particular subject. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, good. Good reading. And you know, very confidently you read and very loud also. Curriculum and syllabus, as I always explain you, syllabus is about one particular subject, but curriculum is about all the subjects of the program, right? Think of your BEd TESOL. Maybe all of you are BEd TESOL, am I right? All of you all are from BEd TESOL.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Some are from PGD also, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So according to your program, the curriculum is the compilation of all the subjects. Okay. You have teaching methodology, you have educational psychology, you have curriculum theory and practice, you have current trends in education. So that is your curriculum. But syllabus, for the curriculum theory and practice, you have a syllabus. For educational psychology, you have a syllabus. So syllabus is actually narrower than curriculum. Syllabus is part of the curriculum. So, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Nature, second entry. Curriculum is prescriptive and syllabus is descriptive. Curriculum is prescriptive, the syllabus is descriptive. Can you have an educated guess? Can you have an educated guess? Educated guess? No? Right. I will tell you. Now, doctor, when you see a doctor, the doctor give you a what?
Prescription.
Prescription. Why do we call it a prescription? Because nobody else can change that. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the curriculum is like that. It is prescribed. The learning experiences, the activities, they are prescribed in the curriculum. So the curriculum is very prescriptive by its nature. But syllabus is descriptive. Now the teachers, they look at the syllabuses and the teachers actually do necessary changes. Not big changes, but necessary changes. For example, syllabus says first teach, it has listed down some content. So simple present tense first, a present continuous afterwards, and then simple past. But you as the teacher, thinking of the convenience, first you might teach simple present. Before coming to simple present continuous, you might think it's easier for me to do simple past. Like that, you may do different little changes. to make it suitable to your teaching learning experience, to make it suitable to your context, right? Not big changes, but you can adapt, you can change. Now, if the content is very advanced, you might simplify. So the teachers can do that. That is why the syllabus is descriptive. Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Got
Then the
it.
third entry, structured for. It's very obvious. Complete course when it comes to curriculum. But when it comes to syllabus, it is structured for each student subject under the course. It's subject-wise. Araka, for the complete course, structured for the complete course. Syllabus structured for the syllabus, right? That is it. Then we'll go to the changes. You can't do changes to the curriculum easily, cannot be easily changed. You have to actually go through the curriculum development board and get the approval of the board and all that if you really want to change the curriculum. But if it is the syllabus, it can be easily changed, right? Determined by. Who determines the curriculum? That is the administration, institute, or the school, or the government. Now, for example, the government of Sri Lanka has decided we have to actually give this national curriculum in the schools. So international schools, they decide whether they are actually using the Cambridge or Edexcel or national curriculum. Okay, it's determined by the administration of the school or the government when it comes to curriculum. But when it comes to syllabuses, it is the exam board. Exam board means actually the internal parties in the campus. Maybe the dean and the head of the faculty may sit down and think of little changes that they need to do to the module or the subject curriculum theory and practice. It's possible. Now, for example, now educational psychology, the curriculum says you have to do 2 assignments, written and PowerPoint. That is curriculum. But when it comes to your syllabus of educational psychology, I discuss with the faculty, and as me as the lecturer and the faculty as the administration decided, we will do only 1 assignment for 40 marks, that is the PowerPoint. That is because its syllabus can be actually determined by the exam board, that is internal. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So scope එක ගත්තොත් curriculum is wider and syllabus is narrower. You know why? Because syllabus is part of the curriculum. Okay. Uniformity. Uniform for all the teachers, different from one teacher to another when it comes to syllabus. Curriculum is, if now one is in Abu Dhabi, one is in Sri Lanka, if it is the British curriculum in Sri Lanka and Abu Dhabi, both the places, that they actually do the same. Now, for example, very recently, one of my nieces, right, migrated. Here she was actually following a A-level Cambridge. Now she's in another country. She's continuing with the same Cambridge curriculum. And she actually is taught by the same teachers online. So the curriculum is the same. So the uniformity is there, right? But when it comes to syllabus, the way that the teacher teaches, simplifying, modifying, preparation, all these are actually alignments, what is to be taught first and what is to be taught next. They are actually teacher's choice. Okay, it's different from teacher to teacher. The methodology, the use of methodology and all that. The last one, the term duration. until the course lasts. Until the course lasts. So your degree is 4 years full time now. Curriculum is executed all throughout the 4 years. Okay. But if you take the syllabus, once you finish your educational psychology, it is done. It is done. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a actually small area. If a question is set, it can be in a structured, say, one part for 5 marks maximum, not more than that. Okay? Got it, Nether?
Got it, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we can go to another area. I will actually get you to look at types of curriculum then. Types of curriculum. Anyway, I will put all these into your chat first and then get back to the next topic. Okay. No, not this one. Right. That is better, no?
Yes.
Now you ask for your lecture notes and all that. Do you study on regular basis?
Going through it, miss.
Very good. That is very important, actually speaking, right? Okay, not desktop actually. Spacey. D and then desktop and then curriculum theory and practice. Lecture notes and session 1. Okay. Sending. See whether you can see it and download it. Are you in a WhatsApp group or anything? No.
Yes, ma'am, we have.
So you can share it in the WhatsApp group, one of you. Is it possible?
But madam, admin can upload
Only
the
can
notes.
share, ne? Right. So you can download your stuff and keep. You don't have to wait till I send it through the coordinator, okay? Got it, no? All the 3 are there, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now we will get into the next topic, types of curriculum, okay? Types of curriculum. And one of you can actually keep records of the topics covered by me. Now session 1. Who is going to do that for me? Who is going to do that for me? Session 1, what are the topics covered? Who will going to jot down and keep it with you? Somebody who comes regularly can do that. Barida,
I will do it, ma'am.
what's your name?
Shashikala Hettiarachi.
Yeah, Sashikala Hettiarachi. You can say session 1, definition of curriculum is done.
Okay.
Then the next topic is actually components of curriculum is actually not taught, just introduced for the second topic, that is curriculum designing approaches.
That is component of curriculum, no? The
Yeah,
second
that is actually not needed because it is done in a big way later on. I
Okay.
introduce this because we can't discuss this curriculum designing approaches without introducing the 4 components. That is why I did that, okay? We
Okay.
have to take part by part and discuss in a big way later on in maybe next week. So the second topic is curriculum designing approaches, forward, backward, and central. Now the third subtopic we did is distinguish between curriculum and syllabus. And now the fourth subtopic is types of curriculum.
distinguish between the curriculum and the syllabus.
Syllabus. Nata curriculum versus syllabus kila kiyana puluwa.
Okay.
And the other one is
The last one. Now today
yeah, types of curriculum. What is it?
types of
Types of curriculums. Then I'm going to cover it now because we have another 20 minutes, right? So we can actually discuss what types of curriculum in a way. Right
Okay.
now in your school also, you actually execute different types of curriculums. So this come to a better understanding of what you're doing actually speaking in your teaching, right? So when it comes to type of curriculum, curriculum refers to the planned and organized set of educational experiences provided to students. අපි ඒක දන්නවා දැන්. There are several types of curricula, each emphasizing different aspects of teaching and learning. Below are the main types of curriculum along with explanations and examples. Okay. Now we will look at explicit curriculum or the formal curriculum. One type of curriculum is the explicit curriculum or the formal curriculum. Then we have implicit curriculum. So we will first discuss explicit curriculum or the formal curriculum, right? The explicit curriculum is the official formal curriculum that is actually written, which is available in black and white, which is delivered by educational institutions, schools, or universities. Now, for example, if you take your BEd TESOL or whatever, they have a written document that is the BEd TESOL curriculum. Okay. Now, you're affiliated to a foreign university. What is the foreign university you're affiliated to? What is the foreign university you're affiliated to? From which university you're getting your degree? ඒක දන්නේ නැද්ද?
Cambodia.
Yes, Cambodia, no? So then Cambodia. එතකොට a university එකේ. එතකොට it may be Apex doing this. It can be some other university also doing the same Cambodian curriculum. So they have to follow that curriculum given to them by that university. Right? So there's a written black and white written document. It's official and formal. That is what you're following. That is the explicit curriculum or the formal curriculum. Right? It is designed by curriculum designers or educators, typically outlines specific subjects, topics, learning outcomes, teaching methods, and assessments that students are expected to engage with. And normally they say in the first semester, these are the modules to be covered. In the second semester, these are the modules to be covered. This is how you are going to assess your students. These are the methodologies, and all these are prescribed in it. Okay. So the key features of an explicit curriculum, it clearly outlines the official document like syllabi, textbook, or educational standards, structured with specific learning objectives and assessments, often follows government or institutional guidelines. So if it is from a Cambodian university, so they have prescribed everything and you are to execute the curriculum. Okay. Example, a mathematics curriculum for the 10th grade student might include topics such as algebra, geometry, and whatever. The curriculum specifies the learning objectives. Students will be able to solve quadratic equations and includes schedule assessments like midterms and all that. Everything is prescribed. Advantage is provides clear measurable outcomes. So you all know what you will be able to do at the end of the program, what you actually will be able to do. And the teachers know, lecturers know what you will be able to do at the end of the day. So it is very clear and measurable outcomes are there. So because of that, there is standardization. Because now not only Apex campus, There can be other countries in India, or I don't know, in Malaysia, whatever, the same curriculum is actually given. So uniformity and standardization is there when you actually have this explicit or formal curriculum. Okay. There will not be disparities. Okay. What is the disadvantage? It is somewhat rigid, and it cannot be adapted to the students' unique needs and interests. Now, for example, in my campus, that where I work full time, they offer Malaysian degrees, and they have some modules related to Malaysian culture, um, Malaysian educational policies, and all that. No lecturers also to teach them, and the students don't find them useful also, but we are not going to change any of those. We are actually giving them those modules. We can't change it. Why? There is an explicit formal curriculum, so we are not supposed to change it, because we have to adhere to the explicit formal curriculum. So we can't actually easily cater to the needs and interest of the students easily. It's rigid. That is a disadvantage. Then can be overly focused on content, neglecting the development of critical thinking or soft skills. That happens when it is when there is a kind of a explicit formal curriculum. The lecturers, the teachers, they have to adhere to the syllabus and curriculum and cover it up. So you can't deviate from it. It happens in schools also. Now you have English language curriculum, syllabus, and you are, as teachers, you are very busy covering the syllabus. So you can't actually stop and give them some interesting activities, some effective learning experiences where they develop their critical thinking, soft skills, and when they actually build up, where they can build up their confidence and all that. Because why? You don't want to deviate from the curriculum because it is set, and uh, you fear deviating from the curriculum. That is there. That is a disadvantage of the explicit curriculum, the formal curriculum. Then we'll come to the implicit curriculum or the hidden curriculum, the second type. Implicit or the hidden curriculum. Hidden curriculum. So when it comes to implicit or the hidden curriculum, there's no written document. There's no black written document. It is not presented in black and white. Right? But the school has their own cultures, their learning environments, their teacher behaviors, right? And the school has their own school events. They are different from school to school, and they actually help the learners development of the learners' attitudes, values, and behaviors. For example, the school has social events. The school has sports meets. The school has cultural days. The school organizes community-based projects. That is their school practices, and they help the learners to develop their attitudes, behaviors, skills, etc. So that differs from school to school, and actually that is termed as the hidden curriculum or the implicit curriculum. It's not jotted down anywhere. So now we talk about now nearest school is the best school කියලා. හැබැයි each and every parent is actually willing to send the child to a leading school. Why? Because they have their own culture. They have their own teacher behaviors. They have their own environment. Now, all the students are coming from good backgrounds and all that. කියලා දැනගත්තාම the environment. So they actually influence the learners' development of attitudes, values, and behaviors they are actually implicit or the hidden curriculum. ඇත්තටම කියනවා නම් we don't have to worry. It's the same syllabus that is done everywhere. But we always, the parents want to send the students, their children to the best leading schools. Why? Teacher behaviors are different, school cultures are different, the school environment is different because of that. Because they only actually get the learner to develop good attitudes, values, and behaviors. Okay. Now the key features. It is unwritten, often unspoken lessons and norms. Shape students' social, ethical, and emotional development. Can reflect societal norms, power structures, and biases. It can happen. Can reflect societal norms, power structures, and biases. Now, for example, the distinction between the have and the have-nots. So if you're teaching in an international schools doing the Cambridge syllabus, right? And then the international school has a lot of exposure to the students. So there is power structure working in there, am I right? So that is there. Standardization is not there, in other words. Okay. Advantages can be powerful tool for teaching important social and cultural values, not the subject matter. Okay. Attitudes, values, and behaviors. Helps to shape the social environment in a positive way, fostering emotional and interpersonal development. But the disadvantage is, right, there's no standardization, uniformity in implicit or the hidden curriculum. Then we'll come to the third type of curriculum, null curriculum. What is the third type? Null curriculum. What is meant by the null curriculum? The null curriculum refers to what is deliberately left out of the formal curriculum. What is deliberately left out from the formal curriculum? It represents the subjects, topics, and perspectives that are not included and are excluded from the educational experiences for variety of reasons, often due to cultural, political, and practical considerations. I will give you one example. If you're an English language teacher, right? No, it is not possible because it's only testing, so it's not a suitable one. I will tell you this. Sex education. It is deliberately excluded from our curriculum. Am I right? National curriculum. Is there any area related to sex education in our curriculum, national curriculum? I'm talking to a class, not to a kind of dumb and deaf people. Please respond.
No.
No, ma'am.
No, it is deliberately left out due to cultural reasons. Okay. So that is actually the null curriculum. One best example from Sri Lankan context is that. Now, one is actually doing the, you said British curriculum. Are you aware of the other subjects that other than your one?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Are you there? Still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Are you aware of any other kind of subject matter is taught to them? No.
In year one also, I'm aware of FS2 and year one.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah.
what are the kind of so some actually you may not be actually aware of it. Now
Yeah,
the bad
actually
touch and
yeah,
bad touch
nowadays,
and good touch.
yeah, but
Now
that one, sorry.
it's there. Am I right?
Yeah, nowadays they come up with we can't use the rainbow words like because
Uh-uh.
it's the bisexual thingy and come. So those are the some restrictions coming.
Uh-huh. So that is it. Now, but in our context, there can be areas that deliberately left out. Okay. So that is null curriculum. So what is not taught or addressed in the formal curriculum is the null curriculum. Can be influenced by political, religious, or cultural factors. Often reflects what is considered inappropriate or irrelevant to a particular society or institution. Okay. Right. Advantages. Allows curriculum to focus on subjects deemed more essential or appropriate. Can reflect societal values and needs. The disadvantage is omitting certain topics may limit students' exposure to diverse ideas, can create biases or gaps in students' education, leaving them unprepared to engage with controversial or critical issues in society. Then we have recommended curriculum. What is recommended curriculum? We discuss explicit, then implicit, then null curriculum. And then now we are looking at the recommended curriculum. The recommended curriculum is the curriculum suggested by experts, including educational authorities, curriculum developers, and subject matter experts. It is often based on research, best practices, and the needs of society, and aims to provide students with the most relevant and up-to-date content. So it is developed by experts, provide recommendations for curriculum design and teaching methods, often aligns with national or regional educational standards and frameworks. If actually speaking, this is more or less the written curriculum or the explicit curriculum. But if this curriculum actually caters to these prioritize the needs of the other. Now, for example, in our Sri Lanka, we had a 3-decade long war, right? So because of that, the national integrity became very important, and it became one of the most important um, uh, educational goal. So if it is incorporated into the curriculum, thinking of the need of the hour, and the experts actually incorporate it into the curriculum, we call it actually the recommended curriculum. I will tell you another one. For example, now English as a second language. Okay. Now, introduction of the English medium or mixed medium education in Sri Lanka. That is the recommended curriculum. Why? They learned that English as a second language alone is not adequate. So we have to transform our education to English medium instructions. So because of that, they started with the grade 6 to grade 11 secondary grades, and they taught some subjects in English. So that is actually recommended curriculum. It caters to the needs of the hour, because we have to actually develop their competencies in English language. Right. Then the next one is taught curriculum. And taught and learned curriculum, we will be discussing it the next day. Is it okay? With some examples. I don't want you to actually be after 9:30, because we all are working people and we all are busy. You have housework and children waiting for dinner or to bed. So we have only 2 more minutes. So the rest of it, we will be discussing it next day. Okay, is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So
Okay,
who said that Hettiarachchi, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Hettiarachchi, you have to take it down.
Yeah,
Today
Miss,
I
what is the
discussed the definitions of curriculum,
and
curriculum
curriculum
designing
design approach,
approaches, and
distinguish
then
distinguish between
curriculum versus syllabus, and then types of
types of
curriculum.
curriculum. What,
Under
ma'am?
types of curriculum, we discuss 4 types. That is explicit or written curriculum, then implicit or hidden curriculum, null curriculum, and recommended curriculum. We have some other curriculum types also. We will be discussing it next day. So
Yes.
hope that you all understood what I was telling, Kiela. not one or two, those who interact with me, but others also. There are 33 now. Do you understand what I'm talking to you about?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
then it's okay. But when you listen, you might understand, but you might forget. So regular basis, actually do read your notes and write your short notes and be prepared. That is it then. Thank you very much. Okay, good night.
Thank you very
Good
much.
night, ma'am. Good
Good
night.
Thank you,
Night.
ma'am.
Bye.
Good night. Okay.